Welcome back to the next session on human resources management. Today we will talk more about training and development. My name is Aradhana Malik. I am an assistant professor in Vinod Gupta School of Management at IIT Kharagpur. So we were talking about, in the last session we were talking about training and development, and we were talking about various issues related to training of employees in an organization. Today we will talk more about the specific training techniques in an organization. Okay. Sources that I will be using for the class today are, like I have told you earlier, various sources, various books that I have used for making these slides. So let's revise a little bit about what we talked about yesterday. The training process, like I told you, it means giving new or current employees the skills they need to perform their jobs. That's what training means. Negligent training, we had discussed the definition of negligent training, and we had also talked about how one can align strategy and training. Challenges in training, we talked about some challenges that one can face in training the employees, and we talked about money matters, we talked about other challenges and confusions trainers usually face when they are training new employees or retraining the current employees. And I told you that we will discuss the training needs assessment model in greater detail today. So let's get on with this. Training needs assessment is the first step towards delivering any kind of training to the employees, and in order to assess the needs of the employees, one needs to find out in the environment, the environment determines, sometimes indicates the need for any kind of training in an organization. So within the environment, various forces within the environment that can influence training needs in an organization are unions, which means the employees get together and they have certain needs that they communicate to the organization, to the senior management in the organization. Then the economy could determine the need for more training. We might need to have more employees, or there could be a need to diversify, there could be a need to cut down resources, there could be a need to rotate jobs among various employees. So that could be governed by the economy. Then laws, we have equal opportunity laws, we have laws that emphasize the need to mainstream the people who are differently abled, or people who are who do not have access to very good resources while growing up. So laws mandate that equal opportunity be afforded to or be given to various categories of employees, various employees from various backgrounds, and these laws then mandate the need for more training. This in turn leads to a need to analyze our organizations, and within the organizations there is a need to maybe revisit our objectives and find out what resources we have. So and whether these resources can be reallocated or assigned to various groups of employees, etc. Then this results in a training need. So the requirements of the environment and the analysis of the objectives, of the current objectives of the organization in light of the changing socio-political or socio-legal or the legal environment or economic environment, these objectives need to be revisited, the resources need to be found out as to a stock needs to be taken of the current resources, and the resources may need to be allocated or reassigned, and that results in a training need. And if the training need is found to be there at that time, then one needs to analyze the operations or the working of the organization, and one specific operation is requirement for efficiency. If there is no training need, then one needs to find alternative solutions. So here, if you follow the cursor, if the training need exists, then you move on to the next step. If it doesn't exist, then you move down here. Then once the requirement for efficiency is assessed and it is found to be there, then one needs to again ask the question whether there is really a need to train employees, or whether alternative solutions can be used in order to fix the problems with efficiency. If, for example, if a major reason for the organization not performing up to its full potential is deviant employees or uncommitted employees, or employees who or maybe a high turnover, then training may not solve the problem. However, if the employees are committed and they are satisfied with their work environment and they are still not able to perform to the best of their abilities, then a need to retrain them or to train them in newer skills and newer ways of doing things may be there. And that, if that need is found to be there, then there is then the third level of analysis needs to be taken up, which is an analysis of knowledge, skills and attitude. So employees are there, they are committed, they want to do their work. At that point, one needs to find out what they know and what they need to know in order to satisfy the needs of the organization, or in order to achieve the goals that the organization has set. So there could be various reasons why they are not able to perform to their best. They may not have the skills to do what is required to be done, so one needs to train them in those skills, or they may not have additional knowledge, they may not be updated with whatever they know already, they may not know how to apply whatever they know, so that may need to be enforced, or for some reason they may not feel they may not be in tune with the requirements of the changing requirements of the organization, at which point those attitudes will also need to be assessed, and one will need to find out what their current level of performance is and what their optimal level of performance can be. And once the difference is found out, once it is found out where one is and where one needs to go, and what is the distance qualitatively and quantitatively that needs to be traveled, at that point again one needs to assess whether there is really a need for training, or whether one can do without training and give them, maybe if they just need to be motivated, at that point training will not help. Whereas if they are really feeling limited because of the lack of access to resources, or for whatever reason they they don't know enough to perform their jobs well, at that point the training need may be there, and at that point the training should be given to them, and that will then feed back here, this is where we are. If the training need is found to be there, then they are trained, and then at every stage one checks whether whatever has been given to them is of any use to them or not. Then we come to the principles of learning. How do employees learn when they are being taught? Some ingredients of skill learning are, one is goal setting. So when people are taught in organizations, they are taught primarily, they are taught skills, they are given additional knowledge, and they are taught newer skills for performing their work as optimally as possible. And in this they Maybe goal setting is one big ingredient of skill learning, where they are told what they are expected to do. So once one knows where one is going, once the end result is clear, then the steps that are required to reach that end result also become clear. So the goal theory then comes into play, and goal theory is an individual's conscious goals, or it says that an individual's conscious goals or intentions regulate his or her behavior. So at that point of time, if the goals are set in terms of personal goals and in terms of the organizational goals that need to be achieved, that will really help the employee learn whatever one is being taught. Once their goals are clear, then the objectives of the training program aligned with a person's personal and organizational goals can be made clear right at the beginning, right in the beginning of the program, at which point the employee can be alert to whatever is about to come. Set challenging but achievable goals. So, one can also use the goals that are defined by individual employees to set goals that the employee can, to set mini goals or steps towards achieving these larger goals. Achieve short-term goals during the training. So help the employees achieve short-term goals so that the person can develop more confidence. The second aspect of learning a skill is behavior modeling, which means copying. Modeling is not exactly copying, but doing things as a senior person who's been doing them does, and learning how to do or how to carry out a process the way it is expected to be carried out. So when we talk about behavior modeling, we are talking about physical similarity of the behavior that is expected of the employee. So that is one component. The employee should be shown what is expected physically. Clear portrayal of behaviors should be there. There should be some similarity in the new behavior with the old behaviors that a person has been exhibiting, and the new behavior should be very clearly displayed, and then the behaviors to be modeled should be ranked in order of priority, and this priority should be made known to the employee, and have several models portray the behavior. So what happens is that when an employee is being shown what needs to be done, if the employee is not comfortable with the person who is exhibiting these behaviors, then the employee can maybe react or not really follow what is being told at that point, or for whatever reason, being shown the behavior by one person could somehow lead to an association in the trainee's mind regarding the other characteristics of this person who's modeling the behavior and the actual modeled behavior. So in order to break that association, it will help if the employee is shown, or the trainee is shown, several instances of this new behavior by people who are in a position to exhibit this new type of behavior. So several models portraying the expected behaviors always helps. Meaningfulness of the material is another aspect of skill learning. Whenever we give any material to the trainee, it always helps if the trainee can see meaning, can see value in whatever has been given to the trainee. So in order to give that, an overview should be given to the trainee regarding the material that is being shared with the trainee, and examples should be shared with the new trainee regarding the terms and concepts that the trainee is familiar with. So this process is called scaffolding. Now what is a scaffolding? Just in general parlance, scaffolding is what we call in construction terms as shuttering. So scaffolding is the support that one gives in order to to stabilize a new structure. And so this support is given, with the understanding that it rests on an existing structure, and the strength of the existing structure is extended by way of this additional support that we call as a scaffolding to hold the new structure that is coming up. So scaffolding acts as a bridge between the current structure and the new structure. So the existing strength of the existing structure is then extended by way of a scaffolding in order to support the new structure that is coming up. And that is precisely what we do when we give trainees new material. We show them the value of the existing knowledge that they have, and then build the foundation for the new knowledge that we are giving them, for the new training that we are giving them on this existing strong, meaningful material or knowledge that they already are familiar with. Teach simpler skills and then integrate them into more complex skills. So that is another way of increasing the meaningfulness of the material. You teach them simpler skills that they are able to master very, very quickly. Once they are comfortable with these simpler skills, then complex skills, which are nothing but more more advanced forms of the existing skills that they are familiar with, are taught to them. Then they can relate to the existing skills that they are familiar with, and they can sort of take it from there. Okay. Practice is another aspect of skill learning, where we show our trainees what is required to be done, we show them why it's important, and then we give them a chance to practice it actively. So we give them a chance to master their control over this skill or their use of this skill in controlled environments. Now some aspects of practice are active practice. Over learning could be harmful. Over learning means you constantly teach them something new, and after a point they are they somehow lose touch with the foundation that this new learning had been built on. So that is over learning. Length of practice session, distributed versus massed practice, again another concern. Sometimes a skill is taught in pieces, and sometimes it is taught as a whole. So in some cases it may be better for a person to be taught the skill in pieces. For example, when you teach a person driving, you can't immediately put a person behind the wheel. The trainee cannot be immediately put behind the wheel. Initially the person needs to be taught how to get comfortable with moving the steering wheel, or with changing gears, or with understanding when to press the clutch, brake and accelerator. And then slowly the connection of the clutch, brake and accelerator with gear change is explained to them. So clutch and gear change, and then clutch, brake and accelerator at slow speed, and then or maybe turning and changing gears. So all of that is taught. But then the interrelationship between all of these activities, and then also looking in the rear view mirror, when should one look in the rear view mirror, when should one look at the road, I mean all of these things are, it's a complex activity, but we cannot immediately put a person behind the wheel and say, okay, now you go and learn and hit whoever you want to hit. That is not the way. So only after a person gets comfortable with changing gears and with controlling the foot pedals and with controlling what is in a person's hand, do we start showing them how to do one or two things, one or two activities in driving together. Similarly, when we are doing some kind of a training, at that point also it is very important for us to understand whether the training that we are imparting can be given as a whole or in parts. So that is another challenge, and whether it should be practiced as a whole or in parts. and so only the trainer can decide that in conjunction with the needs of the training program, in conjunction in light of the complexity of the tasks involved and the resources that may be used in those in practicing, for example, so when we are driving, I mean, one knows that one may end up spending a lot more fuel than one would if one was driving normally, and one has to be prepared to make that extra payment. One has to know where one can go if one accidentally hits somebody or something. Whenever we learn driving, most of us make these mistakes, and one should at least know where one can draw the line and how many resources one has. So a lot of things need to be thought about before one can start delivering the training program. And the last point here is feedback. When a person is practicing, the whole idea behind practicing in a controlled environment is to get feedback, is to be checked at different points and then learn from those mistakes. So feedback is an essential component of skill learning. If you are not in a position as a trainer, if you are not in a position to give individual feedback, please do not undertake training. That is my advice to you. The people you are training will need active feedback in order to be able to learn whatever you are teaching them well. In the absence of feedback, they will not be able to know where they are going right and where they are not going right. So that is an essential component. Okay, transfer of training. I told you, we touched upon this very briefly in the previous class. Transfer of training is the extent to which competencies learnt in training can be applied on the job. So some positive aspects or positive ways in which training is transferred is that it enhances performance. You learn something new and it helps you do things better. One of the negative impacts of training on performance is that it hampers performance. You learn new ways of doing something, and then when you reach your job, you are not able to implement whatever new you have learned for various reasons. The organization's policies may not permit it. Too much of a difference from the routine may result in some breakages of process or some interruptions in the process, or people are not comfortable doing things the way you would need them to do things after you had done the new thing that you had learned. So various ways in which this can hamper performance, and neutral is that it has no effect on performance. You learn something new but you are not able to use it on the job. It doesn't hurt you, but it's not also helping you. So all of these are different aspects of transfer of training. Action learning is participants learn through experience and application on the job. Team training, I told you, gives you a clear sense of direction. Team training is training different teams as a whole. So various benefits: it gives you a clear sense of direction because the whole team is moving in the same direction. Talented members, of course, members, what they know and what they can do improves considerably. It leads to clear and enticing responsibilities when you learn together as a team. Reasonable and efficient operating procedures again are put in place as a result of team training. Constructive interpersonal relationships would be built when you learn things together as part of a team. Then you may end up making a lot of, it gives you a chance to iron out the differences between yourself and others who you may or may not have been able to work with in the past, and that in most cases leads to the building of very constructive, very solid interpersonal relationships. It also leads to active reinforcement systems. When a large number of people or more than one person is involved in undergoing training, then it becomes the organizations are less or are less prone to avoiding reinforcement systems. So they put reinforcement systems in place because many people are involved and they positively reinforce you. constructive relationships with other teams and key organizational players who are not the members. Some training methods, various categories I told you. One is the information presentation techniques, other is simulation methods, and the third type of training methods are on the job training methods. The objectives of these training methods are: first is promoting self insight and environmental awareness. So when we talk about self insight in training, excuse me, in training, when we go through training, we realize how much there is to learn. It improves the ability of managers and lower level employees to make decisions and solve job related problems constructively. So when one is going through training, there is a phase in which one learns new things and one realizes how much one doesn't know, and that in turn improves the ability of people undergoing training. And I mean, that is one purpose of training, to improve whatever is going on currently to a different state. Maximizing the desire to perform well. When somebody teaches you something, the expectation is that you will do things differently after that training is over. So if the training is aligned with your goals and objectives, at that point it will become easier for you to start thinking of how it will improve your contribution to your organization also. How do you select training methods? You define the training objectives, you motivate trainees to improve performance, define their training objectives, then encourage them to improve their performance, clearly illustrate desired skills, show them what is required to be done, allow the trainee to participate actively. Okay, so in the training program, then you give the trainee a chance to participate the way you would want them to perform after the training program was over. Provide timely feedback on the trainees' performance. I told you it is very essential to give feedback to the trainees. Provide some means for reinforcement while the trainee learns. So as the trainee is practicing, as the trainee is doing new things, it's always a good idea to give the trainee some way, some method to improve upon the performance. Some feedback needs to be given to the trainee regarding the performance of the trainee. Provide some be structured from simple to complex tasks. I told you that in order to be learn something new, it's very important to start with something that one knows, something that one can gain control or mastery over, and then move on to more difficult tasks. Be adaptable to specific problems. So one should be able to modify, to apply whatever one has learnt in order to solve simple day-to-day issues. Encourage positive transfer from the training to the job. So one should be able to apply constructively what one has learnt and be able to do the job at hand more efficiently. Implementing the programs. The first one is on the job training, OJT, having a person learn a job by actually doing it. So that is one where you are actually put on the job and asked to perform. Types of on the job training is: one is the coaching or understudy method, or apprenticeship as we call it, where you are put under the guidance of a mentor who helps you learn things on the job. You do things, but there is somebody who is constantly watching what you are doing, and this person slowly and when the time is right gives you feedback, maybe once a day, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, etc. The other part of on the job training is job rotation, where you are expected to perform in a different environment with by being actually put in a new environment yourself. Special assignments or representative projects can be given to an employee where the employee learns something new by engaging in something similar, not the actual job, but a similar job that is of lesser value, but that is an accurate representative of the task at hand. For on-the-job training, the first thing that one needs to do is prepare the learner. So, one should put the learner at ease and explain why she or he is being taught. Then you should also create an interest and find out what the learner already knows and about the job and what the learner can learn from the job. The next part is explain the whole job and relate it to some job the worker has already done or some job that the worker already knows. This is called scaffolding. You explain the new job and let the worker figure out how, or help the worker figure out how one can take the learnings from the previous job and apply them to the new job. Then you place the learner as close to the normal working position as possible and let them see, let them observe, let them respond to the new working environment. Place the learner, familiarize the worker with equipment, materials, tools and trade terms. Then you present the operation. At this point you explain, quantify or qualify requirements. You explain to the worker what is required. Then you go through the job at a normal work pace, at a normal speed. You go through the job at a slow pace several times, explaining each step. Explain whatever process may be perceived to be difficult and explain how it can be made simpler. Repeat the process at a slower pace and at a slower speed and explain the key points. Have the learner explain the steps as you go through the job at a slower pace. So, let the learner also give you feedback about how much the learner is learning and how much the learner is absorbing, etc. The next part is in the OJT process is try out the process. So, have the learner go through the job several times, slowly explaining each step to the learner. Correct the mistakes and if necessary do some complicated steps the first few times. Show the learner what is required and at that point if the learner makes mistakes, then help the learner correct these mistakes and if required then help the learner understand or repeat some of the complicated steps the first few times. Then run the job at a normal pace. So, let the learner absorb the needs of the job at a slow pace and or at a normal pace at his or her own speed. Have the learner do the job, gradually building up skill and speed. So, have the learner or give the learner a chance to learn something new at a slow speed and but just give the learner enough opportunity to learn things on his or her own. Gradually building up skill and speed. As soon as the learner demonstrates the ability to do the job, let the work begin, but don't abandon him or her till the learner has learned whatever there is to learn in order to do the job as well as possible. Then follow up. Designate to whom the learner should go to help. So, the learner has learned something new and it is now time for you to let the learner understand how or what the learner can do next. So, don't abandon the learner, let the learner do the job, let the learner understand what needs to be done next and then assign somebody, give the job to, or let one person figure out how the learner can do the job well, or a person who the learner can go to if the learner has any problem. So, there should be some mentor assigned. Gradually decrease supervision, checking work from time to time. At that point, slowly give up slowly give up your control over the process and check the work of the learner from time to time, check the work slowly, and keep an eye on what is going on, but do not try and interfere too much. Check faulty work patterns before they become a habit. So, identify faulty work patterns, identify where the learner is making mistakes and control them, and inform the learner about these faulty work patterns before the learner gets into the habit of doing them. Show why the method you suggest is superior, and then compliment the good work of the learner. Apprenticeship training. Apprenticeship training is the process by which people become skilled workers, usually through a combination of formal learning procedures. So, formal learning and long term on the job training. Apprenticeship means that you let people do what the new thing that you are teaching them to do, and you are constantly monitoring the work that they are doing, and it's of a longer duration. So, it is on the job training, but it is more spread out. Apprenticeship in India, again, apprenticeship is a formal term, and Apprentices Act 1961 gives an idea of how the apprentices should be treated and what they should learn and what the mentors should be doing. So, one can go through this act, the link is right here. The objectives of apprenticeship are: first is promotion of new skills. So, the person who is learning a new skill needs to know how to use this new skill in the actual work environment, and this opportunity gives the person to try the new skill in a monitored, supervised new environment. It also gives the trainee an avenue to improve and refine old skills through theoretical and practical training in a number of trades and occupations. So, they take their old skills and they help them apply these old skills to new situations, and under, of course, the guidance of a mentor. Other types of training programs are: first is informal learning. The opportunities and encouragement within an organization constitute informal learning. We see people, we observe people, we see our seniors and we observe them, and that results in us learning new skills. Job instruction training is a step-by-step learning process through a logical sequence of steps. So, for example, when we are talking about job instruction training, on the job training is different from job instruction training. Job instruction training is an awareness of or training people about the steps involved in doing a job without actually having them or giving them a chance to do these jobs on their own. Lectures is another way of on the job of training program. When we talk about lectures, some tips here for using lectures as on the job training or lectures as a tool of training are: one is, don't start out on the wrong foot by sounding unsure. So, give your listeners signals about what is to come. So, be alert to your audience, maintain eye contact with the audience, then make sure that everybody in the room can hear what you are saying. One should control one's hands, talk from notes rather than from a script, and so let the audience take down notes and or give them or you also read from your know your material well. and don't read things from your notes or from your slides, then you should at this point you should be able to make eye contact with the audience and talk in a manner that they feel that you are actually speaking with them instead of reading things out. Break a long talk into series of 5-minute talks and practice. Some other types of training programs are programmed learning, which is step-by-step self-learning method that consists of the various parts. The first one is presenting questions, facts or problems to the learner. So programmed learning means that you are giving the learner a chance to think critically about the issue at hand. So you present questions, facts or problems to the learner, then you allow the person to respond. So ask them questions and give them a chance to respond, and then give feedback to the learner, and this way we can teach people new skills. The other type of learning is audio visual based training, especially for mass training in distance mode. So you can have videos, you can have slides, you can have computer programs, you can have examples, but anything that involves the use of more than one sense in terms of the person being able to see what is going on the computer screen, and also being able to hear, and maybe even being able to engage in some sort of activity. Then we have vestibule training. Trainees learn on the actual or simulated equipment they will use on the job. So it's like I told you yesterday that in order to when people are being taught how to fly planes, they are put in a vestibule. Sometimes one part of it is learning how to maneuver the plane by using something similar to a computer video game, and the other part is that they are put in a physical chamber that moves like a real aeroplane would move, that moves like a real space shuttle would move. Especially for astronauts, vestibule training is an important component of their training. So they need to learn how to deal with less gravity, they need to learn how to deal with no gravity situations. So they are actually put in a room or in an enclosed space that behaves physically, or that gives them the physical experience of being in a similar enclosed space, but in a place where nobody will be able to help them. So that helps them get familiar. So that is vestibule training. Teletraining, which is one way, and video conferencing, which is interactive, is another way of training employees. So teletraining is that whatever we are going to have through this program where I am speaking and you are listening. Video conferencing would happen from time to time where I will be online to answer your queries. So other types of training programs would be the electronic performance support system, which is computerized tools and displays that automate training, documentation and phone support. So that is another type of training program. This is a complex sort of mix of computer and there's hard documents and reading material, and there is somebody on the phone to answer your questions. Part of or one method of the EPSS is the job aid, which is set of instructions, diagrams or similar methods available at the job site to guide the worker. So that is the another type of electronic performance support system, where you have all of this material sent to you ahead of time and you can go through it whenever you need to. The other type of training program is computer based training, which is programmed instruction. Again, computer based training is there. Computer managed instruction, the computer tells you that you're not doing things right, so it is built into the program in the computer and the program itself guides you. Intelligent computer assisted instruction is another method of of computer-based training. Intelligent tutoring system is another method of computer-based training, where the system itself tutors you and helps you get through your program. Simulations, like I told you, similar environment is generated, and virtual reality is, again, you are given a similar environment online and you experiment with various scenarios, and that is virtual reality training. Simulated learning is again, could be of various types. You could have virtual reality type games, you could have step-by-step animated guide, you could have scenarios with questions and decision trees overlaying simulation. So there is simulation and there is various scenarios related to that simulation. Online role play with photos and videos could be there. So you are given, you're put in different roles within the organization, and you could have photographs and you could have videos that help you figure out what you need to do next. Software training, including screenshots with interactive requests, could be there. Then internet based training could be there, in which you could have learning portals, you could have learning management systems, you could also have a virtual classroom which uses special collaboration software to enable multiple remote learners using their PCs or laptops to participate in live audio and visual discussions. And you can communicate via written test and learn via shared content. So various types of training methods. Even on the internet you have various portals, you have various websites, you have systems. For example, in India we have we used to use something called as Intino. In the West you have something called as Blackboard. So that is another learning management system where part of the information is given to you by the teacher concerned through the material that is uploaded. Then there could be a video component, you could upload your responses, you could ask questions either via blogs or whatever, etc. So various ways in which we can train our employees. Lifelong learning is another system that a lot of organizations have just started some time back, and they are focusing on this a lot. They are emphasizing the need for lifelong learning quite a bit. Through lifelong learning opportunities, they provide their employees with continued learning experiences over the tenure with the firm, with the aim of ensuring they have the opportunity to learn the skills they need to do their jobs and expand their horizons. So if an organization is committed to lifelong learning, then they ensure that some training program, some refresher course is always going on, and people are always trying to learn new things, or they are given the opportunity to learn new things, and it's available. People are encouraged to go and participate in these programs after a certain duration of time, maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. So that way people keep themselves motivated through the efforts of the organization. Then we have voice and accent training in business process outsourcing companies. That's another type of training program. The big benefit of voice and accent training is that one is able to learn how to speak in a manner that one can be understood by a larger population of people. I went through a similar very short, not really a course, but a discussion with one of my professors who taught me how to slow down while talking, and that has helped me considerably with my teaching. Now one will say, why should we change our voice or accent? It helps. When you're dealing with people, it helps to be able to speak in a manner that one can be understood by as many people as possible. So you are taught things like completing the words that you begin speaking in voice and accent training, or speaking with an accent or in a manner that one can be understood by most people. So if you start a word and you end the word properly and you talk slowly enough, as far as the English language is concerned, we actually can see, if we have never heard a word before, we feel like spelling it out in our minds, and that point, one realizes how important it is to pronounce words properly. So that can be taken over, or that is done through the organizations. Then we have management development programs, which are the attempts to improve managerial performance by imparting knowledge, changing attitudes and increasing skills. And in this, what do? We assess the company's strategic needs, we appraise the manager's current performance, and we develop managers, and we plan for successive the successive roles, or the people who will come and take on the roles that are being played by the current managerial staff. Another managerial on the job training is by job rotation. Like I told you earlier, job rotation is moving people from department to department to broaden their understanding of the business and to test their abilities. We are all trained in various functions. Now, what happens in job rotation is that after a certain period of time, some employees are taken to a new part or a different department within the same organization and are given a chance to perform within that department in that organization. And at this point, their skills, it is accepted that they may not be able to perform as well as the current employees are performing, because they may not have similar kind of training or orientation or whatever. But at that point, it is seen, or they are given a chance to prove themselves through the use of sheer common sense and application of whatever they already know, and that helps people learn quite a bit. So that is job rotation. Coaching and understudy approach is similar to apprenticeship, where one is connected with or put in touch with a senior mentor, and one is given the opportunity to speak to this mentor as and when one needs to speak to this mentor. So that is another way. Then we have action learning. Action learning gives managers and others released time to work analyzing and solving their problems in departments other than their own. So action learning is similar to job rotation, but slightly different in the sense that job rotation means you are moved from one point to another. In action learning, you are given a chance to understand the working of another department, and then give suggestions. And there are 3 phases to this. We have the framework phase of 6 to 8 weeks, in which the work is planned and data is collected. Then we have the action forum of 2 to 3 days, where the actual designing or action plans to solve the problems listed above are undertaken. And then we have the accountability sessions, in which a review is conducted of all the work that had been done. Off the job management training and development programs or techniques. So various ways in which we can learn more about new jobs by by being away from these jobs are: first is case study method, which presents a trainee with the written description of an organizational problem, and the trainees analyze the situation, analyze the case, diagnose the problem, and present the findings and solutions in discussion with other trainees. So case studies are written, then these case studies are shared with the trainees, and the trainees present their solutions and their understanding of these cases. The other is management games, which are nothing but simulated marketplace situations that are available online. Then trainees may be sent outside the organization for seminars and lectures. Or we could also have university related programs, in-house training programs by institutes of higher education. This is something that we here at IIT do from time to time. We have continuing education programs. We also go to different organizations and deliver specialized programs for their specific needs, to cater to their specific needs. We also have role playing. excuse me. Role playing is the creation of realistic situations where trainees assume the parts of specific persons in that situation and then solve problems from the perspective of different players in specific situations. We have behavior modeling. So, modeling means trying to see things from different perspectives. Trainer models, we have role playing. The trainees, when we talk about modeling, the trainer shows the trainees what needs to be done. Role playing is the trainees are given a chance to actually do what they are being asked to do. Social reinforcement is reinforcement and feedback to the trainees. So, the trainees have already played the role, or they have copied, they have practiced, and then they get feedback not only from the trainer but also from their peers. Transfer of training is where trainees apply the training to real life. So, that is, they are given a chance to apply whatever they have learnt to real life, and then their understanding of whatever they have learnt is tested. Corporate universities, we have in-house development centers. For example, Tata has Tata Management Training Center, so TMTC. So, they have their own training centers for their own employees. We have executive coaches, which are outside consultants. We have professional associations that help people with on-the-job management training and development, like the All India Management Association, Institution of Engineers, etc. How do you create your own training program? You come up, the first step here is to set training objectives. The second step is to use detailed job descriptions. Like I told you, a needs analysis is important, coming up with objectives is important. Then you take detailed job description and try and cater to the needs of these job descriptions. Then you develop an abbreviated task analysis record form where you list whatever needs to be done in order to make the organization more or in order to make the trainees more effective, or to help them improve their performance. Develop a job instruction sheet and then compile the training program for the job. So, these are some of the steps that one needs to take care of, and as you can see, it is very important to know exactly what needs to be done. So, needs analysis is very important, as is the planning and scheduling of and detailing the plan of action for the actual training program. How do you evaluate training programs? You've made a training program, you delivered it. Now, how do you evaluate training programs? We must realize that training effects, we need to list the training effects that we can measure. The first is reaction. What is the reaction of the employees to the training that has been given to them? The other is learning. How much have they learnt? So, how will you assess this? Then change in behavior and the ultimate results in terms of the revenue that is generated after the whatever the trainees have learnt has been used in the organization. So, some questions that one needs to ask to measure these effects are: have the trainees achieved a specific level of skill, knowledge or performance? Did the change really occur? If yes, if it occurred, what did you see? How do you know that change occurred? Is the change due to the training or is it due to something else? Is the change positively related to the achievement of organizational goals? If yes, how do you know? Are they really contributing? Is the output commensurate with or in line with the training that had been provided? Will similar changes occur with the new participants in the same training program? If you get new people, are they going to show you the same results, yes or no? And then one can decide whether the training has been effective or not. So, we will end today's lecture here. Thank you very much for listening to me, and we will take on a different topic in the next class. Thank you.